Good morning, Paterson. Good morning. I knew that'd get your attention. And it is a good morning in Paterson. You know how I can tell?
How?
It's been raining like almost all month. But today, the good Lord above is shining with his approval of this new project for grandparents raising grandchildren in the city of Paterson. And let it be known, this is a victory for senior citizens, for grandparents raising grandchildren. But it's also a victory for two young men who are from the city of Paterson. Yes. It's a happy homecoming for these individuals who are providing homes for senior citizens, who are helping the city of Paterson and the state of New Jersey meet the need. So at this time, I want to call forward an individual who has a couple stories to share, particularly about Owen Tompkins. And yes, you can laugh and wait to see what he has to say. Don't hold back. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairman of the Democratic Party here in Passaic County, the Honorable John Curry.
All right. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Thank you, Mayor. I see our Assemblywoman, so many of our council people, so many people important to Paterson. This is a special day for me. And I'll tell you why it's a special day for me. I have been on this journey with Owen, Janet, and Daryl for some 35 or so years. I can go back to the time on 17th Avenue when he was a landlord. Oh. I can go back to East 33rd and Broadway when he was a landlord. I can go when he became the Economic Development Director of the city of Paterson, and how he worked, and he worked with other developers to create housing and businesses in the city of Paterson. But his dream was to do something on his own.
Yeah.
It was hard in these days, as many of you will understand, for a young African-American man and women to break into development in the city of Paterson. So he sought help in Baltimore, Maryland. I have had the personal opportunity and the privilege to be in some of his projects in Baltimore. But his dream, ladies and gentlemen, that he wanted to do something in his home city. He never lost that dream. He persevered. He was persistent. He had ups and downs as it went forward. But today, now you see what the Tompkins family and what Daryl have put together along with their partners. Isn't that what it's all about?
Yes. Yes.
If anyone out here, a young man or young woman, wanted to take a young African-American man and understand, if you have the passion, if you have the patience, if you have the persistence, what you can do. Not only did he start back as that simple landlord renting to one or two different families. Now, you'll have 74 units, many as affordable housing. Parents raising their grandkids. Today is a great day for the city of Paterson and Owen and his partners. God bless you.
Let's have another round of applause for Chairman Curry. He could have said something else about you, Owen, but he held back. It's your day.
I'm glad he did.
Somebody else is going to say it, I know. But Owen, I'm thinking back as to when I first met you and Daryl Tyson. And I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and get on a bus with Mike Powell and Tony Perez and drive all the way to Baltimore so that we could see, Mr. Chairman, the work that you have done in the Charm City. But you said, my work is incomplete unless I can come back home and do something for the residents of Paterson, especially our senior citizens. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back the dynamic duo of Darrell Tyson and Owen Tompkins.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Good, man.
Start off.
Darrell's first.
I don't know which mic, but thank
one
you,
right
thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I want to start off by, to my wife, I want to say thank you to my wife. We just celebrated 20 years, our 20-year anniversary. So I need to get that out of the way. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you, your administration, especially Mikey. Where's Mikey at?
Yeah, Mike
Where's
Power.
Mikey? Mike Power. Hey, Mike, man, we appreciate you, man.
Thank
You know,
you,
we
Mike.
appreciate you. Long, hard. This is a long journey. City Council, without you guys, this is not possible. You know, we want to thank you guys for, believing in us. You know, you guys believed in us when a lot of people didn't believe in us, you know, so we want to thank you guys. Paterson Housing Authority. Irma, look over. I see you looking over there. You and your commissioners. EDA, HMFA. I don't see Senator, but Nellie, Shabanda, Benji, you guys did an excellent job with the ERG, keeping it alive. Again, without the ERG, this project wouldn't be come to a fruition without the ERG monies, the ERG dollars, you know, so thank you guys. My brother, Tony Perez, Parking Authority, you know, my brother from another mother, you know, love you, Tony. I know I'm missing some folks. We got family that came from afar, Texas and Florida, Georgia, and Maryland, you know, they all came in. I just want to thank all you guys. This is a blessing to be able to help. I do want to point out one thing. We got Sandy here. Where's Sandy at? Sandy is a consultant that helped us with minority hiring. We did a lot of local participation. I know the city council, they was like, "Are you guys gonna have, you know, hiring from within our city?" And on and I said, absolutely. That's one thing that we do. I don't care what city we go into, whether we're in Newark, but especially Paterson, because this is where we're from. You know, we had a lot of hiring. We also, six individuals, 6 companies from the city of Paterson. We got them certified. They WMBE. So it was great. It was great. So Sandy, I want to thank you. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, guys.
Bring it home, Owen.
It's hard to follow what Darrell and John have said, but I echo the same sentiments. For those who've know me, that this year has really been a really tough year for me health-wise. You know, I've been all kind of surgeries, but thank God, and I want to start off by that. Thank God for me being here today, and for everybody being here today, for us to see this project come to. You can't hear me? I really want to thank God for everybody being here, and I really want to give special thanks to God for allowing me to be here today. I want to give a special thanks to my wife and my family.
Yes.
Affectionately known as the cash flow diva. I want to, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-laws, my cousins. Even we have a special guest that came from Ghana here today to see for this occasion. I want to thank the council people, Louis, Councilwoman Mims, Councilwoman Cotton, the mayor. Like I said, we drug the mayor down to Baltimore because what we wanted to do was to show everybody that African Americans and people of color could do projects of this size. Shavana, everybody was really, really helpful in this. And I want to give a couple of special shout outs to Chairman John Kerry. John and I go back at least 35 years before the Democratic Party really was as strong as it is today. I think John would host events, and I think there'd be 10 of us at the events. Now it's standing room, it's standing room only. But if it wasn't for him, you know, really giving me a start, I wouldn't be here today doing this, and I really appreciate it. Irma, who we go back and forth with the Housing Authority, who's been very supportive of this initiative. Really everybody, and Mikey is my main man. You know, Mikey, there's never been a time that we have come to Paterson and we said we need to meet that Mikey has not made the time to meet with us, and that's really special because you need people like that to help get it done. And Tony Perez, you know, the same thing. I echo what Darryl said. You know, my brother from another mother. You know, we go, same thing with Tony. Tony and I go back about 30 years together, working together. So, you know, it made this journey a lot easy because there were times when things got a little dicey. The parking authority stepped up to the plate and really made things happen for us. Councilwoman Velez, I can't forget you because you were always there for us as well. Anytime we pick up the phone, anytime we needed to meet with you. But also, too, I want to give a special thanks for council people who didn't support us because they gave us the motivation to move forward. And they, they gave us that motivation to move forward, to make us really sharpen our skills. That way, you know, because we knew as people of color and especially African Americans that we had to bring a little extra to the table, and we wanted to show everybody that what we were made of. So I really, honestly, they really made us tough and toughened us up to not give up because some of the challenges that we were confronted with, it would have been easy for us to give up, tuck our tail between our legs and go back to Baltimore and say we can't do it here. But we didn't believe in that. You know, Darryl and my whole family, Janet, Trina, everybody, we had a motto that if you can make it in Paterson, you can make it anywhere. Also, I want to give my daughter Marcia and my cousin Dorian, I can't overlook them. Let me tell you, when I was sick, every time I turn around, I see my daughter in my face, Daddy, let's go to the doctor, you know. So, you know, those are all of the things that really kept us going, that really made us who we are. You know, it's just really been a beautiful journey, and it's just not so much for us, but we wanted to be an example for other people of color and people in general that to say that if you come from Paterson, you can do anything, and this should be a shining example of being able to do anything. And we want to give young people the inspiration to be able to dream. And one of the things that Darryl said as well, we make sure that every project that we do, we have people of color and people from the community there involved in it, and we try to make sure we work with them to see them make some money. Because at the end of the day, sometimes we don't do enough to push to make our small business people, to make sure that they make money. And one of the things that we plan to do is all of the projects that we do, we plan to keep. We plan to build on our minority participation, but also too, we want to take them from next project to the next project to the next project, because that's how they build capacity and make money. Again, and Mr. Mayor, I really thank you, because a lot of this wouldn't be able if you didn't. And trust me, we've had our words.
Yes,
I mean, we go back and forth with one another. But he was always there for us. He believed in us, and he gave us an opportunity. And the only thing we ever wanted was an opportunity to prove ourselves. That's all we ever wanted. Again, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
They made the most of the opportunity. What do you think? And wait, hold on. Before you go anywhere, a couple takeaways from what we heard from Tompkins and Tyson, TNT, right? The dynamic duo. One, cash flow diva. I never heard that about your wife, so I'm not sure if I have permission to say that to her. Two, you can make your haters your motivators. And this is living proof right here. Now with Darryl, I didn't know it was your anniversary. And I am known to be a big spender, so I'm gonna treat you to a nice dinner tonight. And I'm gonna take him and his wife, if you want, to Applebee's, 2 for $20. 2 for the 20 years that you celebrate. Big spender, right, Mr. Chairman? Yeah, it's a little step up for me. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the dynamic duo here.
Where's my Win people? Where my Win family at?
David.
Huh?
That's right.
So Dave, Lindsay, Laura, Justin, Louis, I mean, you guys, man. And without these guys, man, I mean, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. You know, truly a family. And we're moving on to the next. So I want to thank you guys as well. You know, love you guys.
You know, I'm sorry, Dave and the Wynn family. You know, a lot of times when you partner with larger companies, you know, they push you to the side and you're just window dressing for them. And I got to say that the Wynn and the Wynn family were completely the opposite of that. You know, Dave and all of his team and Shoni and everybody, they showed us much love. And for a lot of people that thought that we were just going to be token people that was just here to just make some money and run, I mean, one of the things, we don't roll that way. And number two is that Dave and them wouldn't have chosen us as a partner. The same thing we did with the mayor. We asked Dave to come down to Baltimore because we're a believer in letting people see what we do, touch and feel what we do. And that way you know that we're real. Because a lot of times people talk a lot of stuff and they can't back it up. But I got to give Dave credit, man. Dave has been one of the greatest partners that we ever had. You know, he brought us up to Boston to meet with the chairman and CEO and the president of the company. I mean, he really shopped us around and, you know, made us really feel good to be a part of the Wynn family. And we look forward to doing more and more projects with them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next one. Gerald Tyson said, I'm going to hold you to that dinner. Oh, God. Didn't tell my wife. That was good. I like that one. So last week we were in New Brunswick, and New Jersey Future presented not one but 2 awards to the city of Paterson for transformative projects. One of them was Hinchliffe Stadium, which I don't know if you noticed, you can see it right from here, the scoreboard. And the other was an innovative housing project for individuals struggling with chronic medical conditions. And that was in partnership with St. Joseph's Health and NJCDC. Thank you for joining us, Bob Garashi. Now, people also should bear in mind that Hinchliffe Stadium wasn't just about restoring this American treasure, but it was also to meet the need for additional affordable housing for senior citizens. 75 units right adjacent to Hinchliffe Stadium. And whenever Melanie Walter is in the city of Paterson, you know it's a banner day. Because whether she was the DCA commissioner or now the executive director of the New Jersey HMFA, she's always bringing the good news with her and the good projects with the funding as well. So no pressure, Melanie. We got a few more projects in the future, but let's talk about this one today. Melanie Walter, our executive director.
It's always a pleasure to come to Paterson because you guys are willing to do something different. We look at a lot of deals that are the same cookie cutter, right? And what I see over and over again when I come to Paterson is something new, something innovative, and something that's meeting the specific needs of the community. And that's a reflection of the constituents who are going to the meetings and pushing the developers. It's the council people honing everybody's skills, like you said, and pushing them to do better. The mayor embracing new ideas and encouraging people to come in with every creative opportunity. And it's the partners themselves, the development partners, who know how to do the business end of the deal, know how to work the financing, and bring that creative energy and that passion here to Paterson because they know they can get it done. And that's because this community always supports that kind of change. That's why it's always an honor to be here in Paterson celebrating the transformative housing developments, because I see here what I'm going to see in the rest of the state 5 years from now. And that's pretty exciting. Today, we're here at the site of Argus Mill, which is a former industrial site that dated back to the 1870s. This building once produced mosquito netting, yarn, and other products, and then it fell into disrepair and disuse. And that's a story that's not uncommon across New Jersey. When you see these beautiful buildings and this beautiful history, you're also seeing the history of the people who live here. And that's the wonderful thing about senior housing. You look at what we're building for the people who built the community, who've supported the community and shaped it to be what it is today, to make sure that they can age with dignity and grace and opportunity in the place that they call home. Due to the joint efforts of the City of Paterson, the Paterson Housing Authority, the Grandparents Relatives Care Resources Center, the Economic Development Authority, and Wynn Development, we've been able to revitalize the site, combining beautifully restored historic architecture with modern appliances and amenities. You shouldn't have to live with less just because you might not have as much money. And this project, like much of our recent work in Paterson, honors the city's rich cultural legacy and builds a bridge to a fairer and more inclusive tomorrow. This is a meeting of old and new in so many ways. Mill Street Square fosters a sense of community because it offers a prime location and mixed uses. The ground floor provides space for Paterson-based nonprofits. Their grassroots activities have touched lives, forged relationships, and strengthened this neighborhood and many others around the city. Several homes here are set aside for grandparents raising their grandchildren. This is a population that helps to solidify the foundation of our community, but so often faces completely unrecognized challenges. I don't know about any of you, but I know as a little kid, every now and then I'd get really mad at my parents, and so I'd run away. But they never worried because I took my backpack and ran to my grandma's house, right? And she'd explain to me that, there were rules and there's the way that things are done, and mom and dad are still looking out for me, and eventually I can have some cookies, but I gotta go home, right? And so the idea that grandparents are providing that foundation for their grandkids here just shows you that that kind of a legacy of support and tradition is going to be carried forward to the youth of Paterson now and in the future. In addition to the on-site supportive services provided to the residents here, the location also offers so many incredible opportunities for multi-generational bonding. And that's something that the way that the nation has emerged with suburban centers, with shopping malls, with downtowns losing kind of their nexus between living and working has deteriorated. So having places like this that are rebuilding those ties, reconnecting working life, school life, and home life, that's something that's very meaningful, and it's reshaping the face of society once again in a way that will have lasting impacts. Here you can walk to Great Falls, you can walk to downtown Paterson, you can go to the national park, shops, restaurants, the train station, and you can go to the stadium now, watch baseball games and make memories with your grandkids. That's a very exciting thing and something that we were incredibly proud to support. Mill Street Square opening its doors to the people of Paterson makes it clear that Paterson's revitalization will not leave people behind or price people out of the neighborhoods where they have lived for generations. Families can raise children here, and seniors can comfortably age in place. Paterson's a city on the move, and NJHMFA is proud to support its resurgence in partnership with local stakeholders. So on behalf of the entire NJHMFA team, I once again extend my deep gratitude toward all of our partners for this project and the beautiful result that you can all see surrounding us. You got this to the finish line in a very difficult time during the pandemic and development history all over. I can't wait to see the difference that it makes in the lives of each resident, and I thank you all for being here.
Going to designate Melanie Walter an honorary Patersonian. Thank you. Keep coming back. Also acknowledge a friend of Paterson, Chief of Staff to Melanie Walter, Terry Tucker. Thank you, Terry. And we miss our late and lamented Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver, who was always advocating for the city of Paterson and projects like this. May she rest in eternal peace. It's a total team effort. We couldn't do this alone as a municipal government. You need the other levels of government, higher levels of government, and we're glad that we have a fighter in Trenton who's made it possible for us to have tax credits so that we could restore Hinchliffe Stadium, so that we could build affordable housing on that site, so that we could have units, affordable housing units for grandparents raising grandchildren here in the city of Paterson. Our Assemblywoman from the 35th Legislative District, Siobhan DeSanto.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. To Owen, Darrell, to the families, know that this was a journey and a vision and a dream that you all had that came true. For decades, I've known the Tompkins family, and Owen always talked about youth and what young people can do. So much so, Chairman, that somehow he found my son somewhere and poured into him the need to always give back to the city of Paterson. Any young person they see, they have that conversation. let alone to serve in government with integrity. And today we can use a lot more of that. Great. So the story that the mayor is talking about with Hinchcliffe Stadium and this project here, they're all interconnected. To the council, Paterson Council is rough and tumble. If you can make it here, you definitely can make it anywhere. It's the grit that helps you to survive, right, Irma? Right. And Hinchcliffe was built by a son of Paterson.
Yes.
Who had to fight as well so that it became a better project. The assemblyman, the senator, and I, we were doing a knockout game to keep our ERB dollars. For 10 years, we were doing a knockout game. The money kept being tossed back because we couldn't spend it. We didn't have a project capacity, size, and scale. Tony Perez did us a solid, and he was like, I really don't, want to do this, but I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna finish this because he also has that grit that comes with being from Paterson. So we stood in Trenton and kept saying, you can't take our money. You can't take our money. We're gonna do something with this money. In fact, calling the lieutenant governor, calling the chairman and saying, we need to put all our money together. And we're entrusting it with the families of Paterson who thought it not robbery to come back home to build in Paterson for a great need that we had for our seasoned saints who don't want to leave the community, who knows this as their only home. And Melanie, the great thing is, this is a place where seniors can live with their grandchildren. They don't have to lose their housing because they find themselves in a space where they now have to be parents again. So it's not just grandma and big mom, it's now mom, right? It's now pa who is serving as daddy to take care of that child and provide a safe home for them with beautiful history. So thank you for looking beyond just your dream, but the dreams of those yet to be able to dream. Thank you, Mayor, for fighting the good fight and all the hundreds of calls to make sure we kept our resources and we were on target for all of the projects that we had in queue. And I see Vaughn McCoy here. Thank you. Again, another son of Paterson who understood the assignment, because it's not enough to just be in elected office and get to the ribbon cutting. It's the work of getting to the ribbon cutting. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to acknowledge Vaughn McCoy because he started this journey with us 5 years ago. He was my original business administrator. And we sat in a room and said, Hinchcliffe Stadium is our priority, but also providing affordable housing is a priority in Paterson as well. So, Vaughn, thank you. Thank you. So, Owen mentioned that there were some council people that did not support this project. We're not going to call them up to speak today, but we're going to call the two council people that are present here that both supported this project from the start. We have from the 5th Ward, Councilman Luis A. Velez, and our Councilwoman at Large, Dr. Lalisa Mims. Please come forward. And you did support the project, right? I just want to make sure. Okay. I'll go check the voting record. I'll check the voting record.
Check the record.
Absolutely, I support it. Not only did I support it, I was on board from the very beginning.
Good.
When you have great people in our community, greetings to our chairman, our assemblywoman, and to everyone here. When you have great people that come from Paterson, that believe in Paterson and come back to give back to Paterson, it's a no-brainer to support the project. What really blessed me were three things. One, I went to school with Daryl, so I know Daryl very well. We went to high school together. So we joked around about that a little bit, Trina. Had to fight him a little bit. Let him know I was in charge back in school too. And then Owen used to be in the meetings and go, oh, leave her alone, just leave her alone, Daryl, we gotta get the project done. We gotta just get it done. But there were so many great conversations And the second thing that blessed me was the fact that they thought about the legacy of former Councilwoman Dr. Jessie Dixon. When I was a child, no one could do my hair, and she was the first woman that my mom allowed to do my hair. So when I heard you say we're going to keep her legacy through the Grandparent Relative Resource Center, Miss Wahida, Ernie as a board member, and so many, that blessed my socks. But this is the other point. Yes. I have the privilege of working inside of School 21 every day. There's a grandmother who comes every day and advocates for her grandson, every single day. And I watched her and I told her about this project. It's coming, you need to apply, you need to get one of these apartments. And what blessed me last Thursday, she came to my building and showed me the keys to her apartment. That's what this is about. Daryl, Owen, Mike Powell, Wynn, Tony Perez, Assemblywoman Sumter, Assemblyman Wimberly, Senator Poe, Congressman Pascrell. I have to say, Assemblywoman Sumter in Kennedy High School, I will never forget. Assemblywoman, there was a town hall, and Assemblywoman Sumter was almost in tears talking about the money through ERG tax credit dollars that we never received. She said, you know what's sad for me? That I sit on the state level and I get to approve the applications, but Paterson has never gotten one. So that's why for me, with all the ERG tax credit dollars, my vote was yes on every single project, because I will never allow my sister to shed any tears, because her heart is always for Paterson. God bless you, and God bless this great city of Paterson.
That was Mike Powell. So,
That's good, Ernie. Ernie.
listen, I just gotta say this, I gotta say it so simple. When I got elected in 2016, I brought in the community with my heart to the council. I went around the 5th Ward in that time. I'm gonna tell you why. I went around the 5th Ward in that time. I say I want to see every vacant lot be redeveloped. I will support anyone that come invest in our city to make it better without getting nothing back. Only giving my legislation to be able to support that project. Proud I could say that I'm the councilman of the 5th Ward, the heart of Paterson, that right now I counting 36 projects, new projects in 2016 in the 5th Ward. You like it or not, if you done it. Little business, small business are getting benefit of it. Laundromat are getting better benefit of it. Our parks are getting benefit of it.
That's good.
Believe it or not, school district is getting benefit of it.
Yes.
So when you look progress, you have to look at all part of progress. Now, I speak loud in the council. I have a problem that when they don't like me, I smile. Even I get attacked. But one thing I gotta say this. One day I say, whatever you don't want in your ward, bring it to the 5th Ward. So they put this district that used to belong in the 1st Ward, and they put it in the 5th Ward.
All right, Louis.
I said, you're not going to support Hinckley Stadium, bring it to the 5th.
How about the Great Falls?
I got the water.
Okay.
I got the water. But let me say this. Before Mike Powell departure from the Economic Development Office, he gave me a call. We need your support, Councilman, in the new district 5th Ward. And I said, what is it? I need you to support the extension of the redevelopment zone in the 5th Ward, new 5th Ward. And I said, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I sent that email. Now, in the support of the council, we supported it, and then now you can see great thing, the rooftop, and you're going to see more buildings, and you're going to see more new properties around this area that need to be redeveloped. Tompkins and Owen, first of all, thank you for being my wedding.
Oh, that's right. Whoa, I forgot that.
Well, they celebrate an anniversary, so we have to remember my wedding. I don't want to. But one thing I say, I remember the first day I met you as a chair of a statutory agency with Tony Perez in his office. Tony Perez says, I wanted to meet Tom and Owen. And as soon as I walk in, I saw this big picture. And I say, if it's for this, let's make it happen. We didn't have the word. I say, let's make it happen. So when you stand in a place that you got elected for the people and by the people, you have to understand, you have to leave your ego on the side and make sure that your vision probably is wrong, but the vision of others are right, and let's make it happen. Anything that you don't want in your ward, bring it to the heart of Paterson, the 5th Ward. God bless you all.
Sometimes when Louis speaks, I want to say preach, right?
Take an offering up.
No, for the Applebee's dinner tonight. So, big spender. Councilman, you're right. I mean, think about the Armory. That's an example of an abandoned property, and now it is under construction, and we'll be cutting the ribbon on that in the spring of next year. And also with Roberto Clemente Park, it became the first park in Paterson to have a playground that accommodates children with special needs. The second one is right here at Lou Costello Memorial Park, and the third one, thank you to our county partners, is at Garrett Mountain. Right. So many people have made mention of him, so why don't we just hear from him? He worked tirelessly with Owen and Daryl, taking calls at all hours of the night. In fact, his wife may have asked him, who's calling you at 2 a.m. or texting you at 4? A whirling dervish, lots of boundless and positive energy. Ladies and gentlemen, our former Economic Development Director, Mr. Michael Powell.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, so I don't have a lot of time. The mayor only yielded about an hour and a half for me to kind of give a long history of the winding road that is this project and all of the projects that everybody here helped to make it happen. And you know, every level of government is involved here, as well as the private sector. This is a true public-private partnership that goes without saying is something that is an anchor for the city's rebirth. And it is true that as you look up here at Hinchliffe Stadium, all of these things begin to connect. And the first planned industrial city will witness a new renaissance that's predicated on doing things of value for the community and putting the community first in ways that haven't really been done previously. The fact that you can take federal, state, local, and private sector dollars and to use them creatively to drive the rebirth and infill development in the heart of one of America's most historic sites, and to do it in a way that's so community-centric through Owen and Daryl, and through all the investors, through Tony and the Parking Authority. I also want to mention Siobhan to the state, also Benji Wimberly, as well as Nellie Poe, our state senator, who tirelessly helped us to kind of make the case with the governor and others. And the mayor, the first thing that we did when we came into office was to basically beg the governor to ensure that we could keep these things alive. And so I just want to thank everybody who's here, the whole team, all the folks that are coming out. I think there's a huge energy here because of the importance of what's happening in Paterson, that big things are coming our way. And this is also on the back of over $1 billion worth of private investment that's also hitting the different wards and neighborhoods of need. And what you're going to see is a rebirth and a renaissance that's been a long time coming. And I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to come out. I want to thank the mayor for arranging the weather today. It's very important that finally, it's important to have the rain because we need the falls. We'd really like to have the hydroelectric plant also working. I want to thank John Franco from my staff here too. He helped with a lot of the design stuff that came into the approval processes. We have every possible acronym in this. David Ginsburg's spreadsheet of sources and uses is probably the most complex thing I've ever seen. It has 47 different tabs. Each one of them has a different funding source ranging from federal, state, local, and beyond. And I think that's what the kind of takeaway here is too. And also George McClough was very helpful here as we kind of got the land here assembled. And Bob, remember when we leased that space out for the charter school? I always remembered how much I wanted to live in that building right there, and it's all fully leased at this point, which is pretty exciting. So I'm just going to continue on for another about hour and a half, and but no, I won't do that. I just want to again thank you all for all your appreciation, and all the folks, the community activists that also came out and helped us to kind of get the approvals. I think the final approval came in at about 2:30 in the morning when I fell out of my chair, but Louis picked me up, and so I do appreciate it. And Mims, you were my economic development chairwoman at the time. So again, thank you so much. Much more to come, and I'm excited about our new chapter that begins as well. So thank you all for your time and energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And he said much more to come. A project we plan to break ground on next spring is the Alexander Hamilton Visitor Center at the Great Falls, which is ERG tax credits as well. So stay tuned. Invitations will be in the mail. Melanie, you'll automatically be there. Yes, whatever works with your schedule. I also want to acknowledge our new Economic Development Director who just started yesterday, and that is Tiffany Harris-Delaney. Thank you, Tiffany. And our Assistant Economic Development Director, Washington Vivero. Thank you, Washington. And we have our Economic Development Specialist, Sikander Khan. Thank you for joining us. And a young man who took on the reins, my Chief of Staff, who was the Acting Economic Development Director, Christian Caligari. Our next speaker gave me my first football, Coach. And he saw me throw that football a couple times, and he said, you should consider going into politics. Ladies and gentlemen, the Executive Director of the Paterson Parking Authority, Mr. Tony Perez.
Yes, Tony. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Dear friend, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Mayor, honorable council people, this was a labor of love.
Yes.
Get an opportunity to quiet the naysayers that said that black and brown could not do it. Well, guess what? We did it, and we're going to do some more. I'm extremely honored and humbled, and I want to take this time to thank the Board of Commissioners of the Parking Authority who work, volunteer, people that just put their heart and soul into everything we do. Thank you very much. And keep me in the reins sometimes because, you know, I have a tendency to slide to the right, side to the right.
Both ways.
Enough of you. But let me just say that I'm humbled and I'm really happy about the fact that we achieved this milestone and now we're ready to tackle the next projects.
Yeah.
So roll up your sleeves. Let's get it on. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Tony, I still have that football, and I also want to let you know that I contacted Tony's chairman of his board at the Parking Authority and requested that we rename the headquarters, the Parking Authority headquarters, after Tony Perez. Stay tuned for that ceremony.
I would rather be Route 80.
We're going to name Route 80. Want to acknowledge Deputy Mayor Eli Burgos. Thank you for joining us, Eli. Deputy Mayor Dr. Joseph Fulmore, Sr., thank you. This time I want to call forward from the Paterson Housing Authority, the board chair, Paula Alford, our chairwoman.
So,
no. And Irma Gorham, our executive director, wants to say a few words.
No. This is a duo. Go.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Today, I want to speak about the power of partnerships. Like when we look at this banner behind us, it took every entity on that banner to bring this project to fruition. This is very special for me because when this project started, I was a resident at Congdon Mills right across the street. This used to be our parking lot. So to see this project come to where it is at today, it is very, very, very meaningful to the residents. I want to thank Daryl and Owen as well as Wynn for coming back to Paterson and seeing about a project like this, understanding that the grandparents in our community, like let's really think about it. When you think about grandparents, right? They are settling down in life. This is like their homes. So to come back and build a project for them to be in the later stages of life and bring us something of this quality means so much. So I want to thank them. I want to thank our mayor and the administration for allowing developers such as them to come into our city and bring projects like this to our residents. I especially want to thank my executive director, Irma Gorham. She worked with our board tirelessly to make sure not only this project, if you look across the road to Riverside, Irma has been an integral part in the city of Paterson in making sure that the money is here for the residents to be able to pay their rent. So that when they're leased up, that they're leased up in a healthy way. So, and I want to thank for sure my board of commissioners. I have two here today. I have my vice chair, Jameli Caraballo, thank you. And I have Commissioner Bob Gorowski, and I thank you. This was a big discussion for us at a lot of our meetings and making sure that this happened. So it's just such a blessed honor to be here with you all today. And again, thank you, and thank you so much. I want to introduce the star, Irma Gorham.
Today, Paterson looks great. It sort of makes my heart sort of fill because it's not about Irma Gorham. It has never been. It has always been about the residents and those partnerships that we form, the collaborations. And Daryl slipped or Owen slipped and said back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, that's how we get to the end. I just wanted to comment on the vision. And Councilwoman Mims mentioned this woman that had a vision some 10, 15 years ago. She came to my office with her grandchild. And this little tot was just running around, just all over the place. And she was getting a little anxious about him running around. And I said, oh, I don't really have anything for a kid to eat in the office, even though I'm a grazer. I said, oh, I have some oranges. And after the oranges, he sat down. And this person was Councilwoman Jessie Dixon. So it started with her vision, and Commissioner Garashi could attest to this. She went around to just about every not-for-profit in the city of Paterson to help her with this project. And part of it is we can't ever feel defeated when we're working for the residents of Paterson, of Clifton, of Passaic. We gotta just hang in there and get to the end. So today, I feel like this is a real celebration for Councilwoman Dixon. We could, as practitioners, we could put it together on paper. We could call the commissioner at the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance, or we could call our assemblywoman and say, let's get this going. But it takes a vision. And we have to get back to having a vision for Paterson, because we all can get it done. There's no doubt about it. We can all get it done. So I thank you. Congratulations to our fellow Patersonians.
Yes.
And I do work with a lot of developers. Some are tough, some are easy, but welcome to the city of Paterson. And we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you guys so much. Your gift is my gift. Thank you so much.
In honor and memory of Dr. Dixon, Councilwoman Dixon, this is a legacy project.
Yes.
This is the legacy that she's left for the city of Paterson. And today, we have with us the board president of the Grandparents Relatives Care Resource Center, none other than Rent Leveling Board Commissioner, my new best friend, Ernie Rucker. It depends on the day, right, Ernie? And the time of the day, whether or not we're friends. Breaking news. Breaking news. Get a picture of this one. Go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Facebook, go live.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming today to this ribbon cutting. This journey has been a very long journey. And quite a few people that are sitting here today made this happen with the community support. I remember the days of me calling various council people for support for this project. No different than the project that took place at Hinchcliffe Stadium and their housing. We've been part of all of this growth as a community. I want to say, though, special thanks to Irma Gorham for a reason. When we were having difficulties making sure that we can lease up this place, I was able to set up a meeting with her and the board chairman to come together and work with us to make sure that we can lease it up with grandparents with grandchildren. This dream of Jesse Dixon is not just a dream, it's a reality that took some time to bring about. I want to thank our legislative team in Trenton, because without you, the money would have never come. The tax credits would not have been there, and we would still be dreaming. Before I say anything else, I want to bring up my director of the Grandparents Program, Lorenzo Carpenter. Would you please stand with me? You know, I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yes.
I received a call last night with some very threatening words. And I was told if I mentioned it, I'd have a problem today. And I'm talking about Daryl and Owen. I figured if I was going to tell this story, I'll do it around some witnesses. But let me tell you about Daryl and Owen. First of all, Owen Tompkins and I went to school together. He was big then, so I kind of treated him a little gently. But when he called me, told me he's coming to Paterson, and he brought Daryl Tyson with him, and I said, "Who's this little guy over here?" And he told me, he said, "That is my partner." And from that meeting, I learned to love both these men deeply and intensely for their passion for building affordable housing. In this city, we have a lack of affordable housing, and we need more of it.
Yes.
These are the types of projects that we develop to create quality of life for people that cannot do it on their own. The Grandparents Resource Center was the dream of Jessie Dixon, a former councilwoman, at large, by the way. Her dream was to take care of grandparents that took care of their grandkids. That dream never died when she left this earth. We kept that dream alive. This project that you're standing on today means a lot to a lot of people. Some of the people that are here that are leased up in this project right now, they have their grandkids with them. And we make sure that the services rendered to this group, the group that has been forgotten for so many years, is top-notch and A1.
Yeah.
When we talk about politics in Paterson, you will get various different opinions. But let me tell you, this project, even the dissenters did not dissent heavily. Even the dissenters on council did not dissent heavily. I understood some of their concerns, I understood some of their pressures, but what happened was we had 5. And that 5 brought this boat home. Paterson, we have done it. For the Wynn Corporation, I was a little nervous when I first heard about Wynn. I'm nervous about a lot of things when I don't know people. But I will say this today, that after meeting them, and especially David Ginsburg, and where's Sandy? Because she helped me so much, and I'd never seen her face. Hi, baby. Mr. Chairman, your influence on so many of us. You made a statement earlier, I gotta repeat it. Oh, sometimes he loves me, sometimes he doesn't.
Nah.
That's not true.
Nah.
I would never stop loving you.
All right.
I will always have an opinion.
Mama, get both of them.
Because Mama will get both of us. I grew up in the city of Paterson, a young man with a mother that was a cop, a sheriff's officer. In 1961, she became the first African-American sheriff's officer in the city of Paterson and Passaic County. But she taught me something. No matter how angry you get, in order for you to get things done, you have to work with people. So in this case, we put our differences aside, and we came up with a strategy of support and supporting a project that is historic in the city of Paterson and will go down in history as the first grandparents program for grandchildren. Lorenzo, I'm gonna ask our director, because his knowledge of Jesse Dixon and the legacy is very extreme, and I believe his words will hit the right ears at the right time. Mr. Carpenter.
Thank you, everybody. Dr. Jesse Dixon's favorite song was by Bashawn Mitchell, Nobody Greater. Nobody greater than God. Days and nights, Dr. Dixon would have issues and situations, had things that she couldn't deal with, taking her grandchildren, the way things was going on. Up at night, we would go visit families, children sleeping in bathtubs, dropping their grandkids off, daughters and fathers, while they're out there doing substance abuse, incarceration. She never stopped. I've seen her lose her house, her job, everything for this center that she created for a problem that she had to fix. This here is the chessboard. Darren Ower, you guys are the players. We depend on you guys. We love you guys. Thank you for the opportunity. Dr. Dixon's dream today that came to fruition. A lot of people, some people may know me, may not. I'm always in the background, always doing what I need to do. But I'm just going to say this to everybody. Thank you on her behalf, of her family, of her legacy, of everything that she did to get this dream here today. My next thing to say, let's fill up these buildings and get these grandparents in here.
Yeah, that's good. The mayor said I had to be quick, which he knows that's an impossibility. But at the end of this, Vaughn McCoy, I want to thank you for keeping my head straight, taking my time, listening, because building a project of this magnitude takes a clear mind and a dedicated and concerned individual. And you helped me get there. Tony Perez, without you, there is no project. You took a piece of your property and built a garage adjacent to this building. And I want to thank you. Mike Powell, the many days and nights that we were on the phone and in your office, and you pushed and you pushed and you pushed.
I will never forget you. I'll always be your friend. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Just one quick thing. Win, thank you guys. The whole team. You guys pulled us in. It made us family. You guys are family. See you at the Thanksgiving table.
Oh. I don't know about you, I'm getting hungry now. Thanksgiving, Applebee's. So ladies and gentlemen, last but not certainly least, you've heard about him. Now you're going to hear from him. The Senior Vice President of Wynn Development, Mr. Dave Ginsberg.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, officially afternoon. Council people, don't worry. I will make sure that this is shorter than a council meeting. Yeah, that's right. That's right. On behalf of the entire Mill Street Square team, I want to welcome you all. Thank you, everyone. There's really nothing I can say that hasn't been said already, but I'm going to give a speech anyway. So, in all seriousness, I'm so happy to see all of our partners here today. You've heard all their names, but I'm going to thank everybody again. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get here. Owen and Darryl, we would say if development was easy, anybody would do it, but it's not easy and it takes a lot of work. We gathered for the groundbreaking here about 2 years ago. For me, it was 2 children ago as well. So, and when so I want to thank my wife, actually. I think my wife, who's not here because we have a 3-week-old. So, but when I gave my speech at the groundbreaking, I had an alliteration theme: Paterson, possibility, partnership, perseverance. I'm going to add 2 more P's to that list today: production and pride. When I look at this group, Owen, Darryl, Tony, Nellie's not here, but Nellie, council people, Mr. Mayor, NJHMFA, NJEDA, the Housing Authority, the Parking Authority, the Grandparents Group. I see a group who realizes you can't just talk about issues. You can't talk about affordable housing. You can't just talk about economic development. You can't just talk about parking congestion. You need to produce results, produce housing, produce jobs, produce safe neighborhoods. And those things don't just happen overnight. They take hard work, and this unbelievable community with affordable housing, with a nonprofit service space, with resident services, with parking for the public, parking for residents. It's a testament and a legacy to everybody who worked on this project. So I want to thank everybody again. And then pride. Again, it might become a little sleep deprived because of the new baby, but I get seriously emotional about the pride I take when thinking about the children in this building, the grandchildren of the grand families that are going to be dozens of children living in this building with a safe place to call home for years to come. And I'm confident the future leaders of Paterson will be raised at Mill Street Square. I'm very proud of that. Another thing I'm very proud of, Owen and Darryl, from day one, we heard from the council, we got to make sure that there's an economic impact for people from Paterson, for businesses from Paterson. So the stats are on our newsletter. I got to say them again. More than $5 million of contracts to Section 3 and MWBE firms. We beat our goals from the state by 35%. With 9 MWBE businesses, 20% of the entire project was done by MWBE or Patersonians. Again, Sandy, you're the best. Absolutely could not have done it without you. But getting Paterson businesses that were already MWBEs, but not in name, not in certification. So you did the hard work to make sure that they're certified. That opens doors and windows of opportunity for them for future public work efforts around the state. So again, thank you. And again, 31 Paterson residents part of the construction team here. So extremely proud of all of those job facts. Again, that's something that's keeping the dollars in Paterson, making sure there's an economic impact. Before we wrap up, more thank yous. Owen and Darryl, you're truly part of the family. Again, I love you. My wife loves you. You know, you're the best. Look forward to doing the next 10 deals with you. Owen, I'm glad to see you at full health. It's been a tough year, but you're stronger than ever. I can't wait to keep working with you. Grandparents team, Ernie, Lorenzo, Wahida, you're the best. Again, got a great space for you. Now we got to do some services, and it's going to be just the beginning here. Tony, the Parking Authority, you're the best. Thank you for all the Disney World recommendations. My daughter thanks you for that as well. again, just everybody, the Housing Authority, Irma, Paula, again, partners, and I can't wait to lease this building up with you. The Paterson administration, the Paterson City Council, the mayor, thank you again for everybody for all of your tireless hard work. Again, and then city, there's some people I want to make sure, staff people who get help credit as well. Charles, Barbara, some leaders, John Franco, above and beyond, not 9 to 5. What you do from 5 to 9 is what makes a project like this happen. Again, Melanie, NJHMFA, your entire team is the best. Shalyn, Rosie, Tanya, the whole crew, they go above and beyond to make projects like this happen. NJEDA, they're fantastic. The SHPO, the National Park Service, HUD, the list goes on and on. Our lending partners, logos are here, but Citibank, Bank of America, Fallbrook Capital, New Jersey Community Capital, Leah, you're here somewhere, hey, Leah, which was our ERG bridge lender on this deal. Unbelievable resources, you're the best. Blue Hub Capital, we brought down from Boston to come work on this project. And then the team on the ground, from Win, Lindsay Finkelstein, where are you, Lindsay? Lindsay, Justin Barton from my team, Laura Manville worked on this project, Luis Losada, who, all the construction doesn't just happen instantaneously. You actually got to build the buildings. I realized you got to actually build these things. Christina McPike and Kyle, making sure we hit all of our sustainability goals. We got solar panels going in the building, EV car parking. We exceeded all of our sustainability goals. Again, really proud of all the effort that we put in here. The WinnResidential team, Shawnee, Faith, Alicia, you guys are amazing. The whole maintenance team. All of your help in organizing the event, by the way. Again, a lot of meetings behind the scenes to make something. I know I'm OCD, I know I'm a pain, but everybody appreciates the great meetings. Again, I want to thank our historic consultants at PAL, Copa Montalbano Architects, our architect on the project, our archaeologists. We had an archaeologist on Matt from Acme. Our own Indiana Jones here, who made sure there was nothing in the dirt. There was nothing in the dirt, good. Sandy, obviously Renaissance Group, PSNS, Civil Engineering, OA Peterson Construction. I think we've got Steven, John, Bob Menendez, who's our super on the project for building this building. This building, again, tireless work to make sure it happens. Tireless work to make sure everyone's getting paid New Jersey prevailing wage rates. Tireless work to make sure there's local subs. Again, it just doesn't happen overnight. So I want to thank everyone. But before we pull out the giant scissors, we're using
right there, Dave.
Your scissors or my scissors? Yeah, your scissors are bigger. If anyone is interested in touring the units, Faith and Alicia, we've got a unit. Please, again, I want everybody to see the units. We have a unit on the 5th floor, great views. Please find Faith and Alicia. They'll take you up into the building. We got food and refreshments down in the inner courtyard. Without further ado, welcome to Mill Street Square.
Yes.